What's going on, guys? Welcome back. It's almost Valentine's Day tomorrow. Don't forget it, guys. This is your last chance to get the flowers. The devs, though, they did not forget. They showed some love, and they gave some cards that had been desperately needing love in the game a buff, and they gave actually the top performing card and others a nerf. And so there's going to be people mad, but I think there's going to be some people pumped with the changes today overall. I think last Valentine's Day, we had the first unbalanced balance patch. The lovers one, I think. It was cool. I hope they bring those back. I don't know. Let me know down below. A lot to talk about. Let's hop in. All right, first up, guys, biggest changes. We got to start with one of the most iconic in Adam Warlock. And one other thing that he was iconic for is being one of the worst cards week over week in Snap. The devs had told us he's one of the worst cards within the game. But not only that, he's the actual worst card in the entire game on some weeks of play. Which, think about that. Out of all the cards that are in this game, Adam Warlock is the worst in the game, which is no surprise. I was never playing him, even for gimmick, sake. Very bad card. And they did something pretty unique with him. And I'm surprised it took so long to get here, because I like what they did. So he was a 5/5. Obviously, if you win the location, you get a card draw. Card draw is very big in Snap. We know that. What they did is they reverted him back to the 2 cost. He has 0 power. And at the end of each turn, if you're winning, you're going to draw a card, right? We know this. Song and dance. Otherwise, gain +1 power. So now you're not sacrificing power for this powerful mechanic in card draw, because he'll be gaining that power. But on top of that, you'll be putting pressure on the opponent. If they play there, you're going to continue to stack power. Maybe you can add power to that location, make it even stronger. So odds are you're not only going to be able to get card draw, but also like a 2/3 sometimes out of this, which is, if we look at a 2/3 that helps you draw cards, pretty damn good. It's going to make overall, I think, his plug and play ability go up. And I think it's going to make Adam Warlock for the first time with all the banger variants be playable within the game. And I am pumped for it. Let me know, guys. Did they nail this? Should they have revisited the design altogether? Want to, know y'all's thoughts down in the comments below. I can finally use the ultimate variant that I've been waiting for. Anyway, good change. All right, next up, another favorite card of mine. Always will have a dear place in my heart in Marvel Snap, no matter how long this game goes. Sera, Control of the Old. Sera has not been played a lot. She was at the top of the top, and then she was going down, down, down. As Snap got older, we had her in like tribunal builds, and she's still there every now and then, but her dominance has lowered quite significantly, and really not a lot of change here, but they are going to make her a 5/5, which when she was a 5/5, people did do this kind of C5 stuff with her. There's some interesting things you can do with Sera, and most notably, not only is she going to be a 5/5, but we're going to have like the return of what was a really strong C5 deck, because Miss Marvel was also really, really good in that deck. So overall, the 5/5 change is definitely welcome, and I hope people start experimenting more with Sera in their builds. All right, moving on, we go to another buff in Sunspot. And I always crack up, right? We see these changes of what I just said, Sera going up a power, and people are like, big deal, 1 power, who cares? But there's sometimes a card gets hit with -1 power, and it gets left in the dust. And Sunspot was one of those cards that was the most played 1 cost. Obviously, we've had power creep. We've had better 1 cost come out. This was, dominant at its time whenever the game launched. But obviously, we have different things like Nico now. But when he lost 1 power, it was a significant drop off his overall viability. He's going back up, luckily, though, to a 1/1. And so hopefully we do get a little bit of that old Sunspot back after each turn. Obviously, you're still going to gain 1 power. I don't know how huge of a deal this is, but it's nice to have a little extra power on top of already a very good effect. They're trying to get high evo back up there. Personally, I think it's going to take some new cards to do so, but I'll take a 1/1 Sunspot anytime. All right, we'll move on to Scorpion. Longtime favorite. Loved him in the early days as well. 2/2. Gave your cards in your opponent's hand -1. And there was ways to kind of make this work in high evo and some of these other builds, and was just a good on-curve play. I thought he didn't get enough play when the game first came out. But again, over time, power creep, better cards came out. 2 is a very competitive spot. However, we do have a new card, Diamondback, who's going to put, I believe, an extra -2 on every single card that already has Affliction to them. So Scorpion's going to get way better just because of that, which we talked about on the Snapchat. But now on top of all that, we also have Scorpion gaining an extra power point. So going up to a 2/3, which this is no coincidence. And I think Diamondback is going to settle nicely. This is a 2/3 package, Scorpion on 2, Diamondback on 3. And this is going to give us a really cool, just staple, 2-card combo to be putting into a lot of decks. Hopefully he does get a little bit more play and we see more of Scorpion in Snap, because I did enjoy playing this guy. and now he's, you know, that much better. All right, so we're moving on to the nerfs now, and this is one of those, it's a buff, not really, it's more of a nerf, and let's talk about it. So we've got Surtur, and Surtur was one of those season pass cards. He came out. We knew it was going to be way too strong. Maybe not low-key strong when he came out, but very good with virtually no weaknesses. The Scar deck, big power, not a lot to go up against it that's, you know, specialized to take it down other than Shang-Chi. And they're hating him. They're going to be bringing him up 1 power point, but obviously you guys know after you play a card with 10 power, Surtur is going to gain +3. So he goes up to 10 with 2 cards, 13, so on. Which led to a 3 cost going very high in power. Now what they're doing is they're going to make him a 3/5, but his cap is only 2 gains now. So he's going to go up to a possible 3/11, which I think this is a good fit because here's the deal. A 3 cost going past 10 power is already bonkers and a little bit over the top crazy. And now we have a better kind of flat stat line. It's a nerf overall for sure, but a 3/11 is still very good. This is not like you're losing his power, right? It goes back to a conversation Alex and I used to have about, you know, do you want a card to come out overpowered or underpowered? And it's like, I prefer, it's when it comes out overpowered, the problem with it is you're always going to be pissed what happens to it, even though it's still a good card. So it's a tough decision because they're selling it. So if it's getting sold, should it be overpowered? My belief is always no. Personally, underpowered is a tough, you know, discussion, but at least they can buff it up and make it better. People are happier rather than taking it down, which Surtur has faced a lot of nerfs already, you know, for being a new card. Anyway, he's going down. The deck's still going to be good, but this is definitely going to put a little bit of a hold on it. All right, next up in the nerf category, we have Wiccan, which Wiccan is, funny enough, when this whole season came out, Wiccan was my favorite card of that season, and people did not like him. He was the first week, I believe, in August, something like that. And I loved his uniqueness about him and the deck design. Did I think the unique builds would turn into some of the better ramp decks out there? No, and it's obviously proven so. Since his release, Wiccan has been really good and dominant in the decks that he's played in. 4/7's a good stat line, and then on top of that, you have a killer effect. People have learned to make Quicksilver in these decks work. They're bringing him down. They're going to bring him to a 4/6. Wow, that variant is way worse. They're making him a 4/6 now, which is still kind of that standard 4 cost, good ability stat line like Iron Lad and friends. So it's going to take it down a bit. It's going to lower that threshold. However, he obviously still has the very powerful effect of +2 max energy, making him a very good card still. And last but not least, we've got Doom 2099, which they have stated is, hold on, let me see, the top performing card since release. My God, and the strongest card of individual win rate. No shocker, this is a very easy thing to happen to get massive results. And as you guys know, 4/2 after each turn at a Doom bot. If you play exactly 1 card, the Doom bots were 4/2. You can make very easy, simplistic, great decks. They're going to change it, guys. They're going to change it, and it's going to take a pretty big hit, in my opinion. Anytime you hit the core card, not a big deal. They can't make him a 4/1 because of Ravonna is what they stated. So they've made him in turn a 4/3. But you look and you're like, okay, it's a buff. No, they're making the Doom bots down from what they were. They're going to be they were obviously that 4/2, which is not bad at all. They're bringing each and every one of these guys that are spreading, and that's what the whole point of the deck is, down to a 4/1. Which hurts. This definitely is a tough change. I know people love this deck, and it's going to, obviously, if it's the best performing deck in the game and card individually, they need to take it down into their standards. But damn, that's a bummer. I liked this card. I like the way it interacted. It's so simplistic by design that I think people just enjoyed playing the deck. And Doom is going to be taking a pretty big nerf. Now, guys, one more thing I want to address because I did not make a video on it is Card Mastery. It's finally here. We're going to be checking out, I don't even know who, Storm is who I clicked on. We got Card Mastery coming to the game, and I wanted to give my overall thoughts on it. This is something that people really wanted. They canceled it, and then they brought it back. And I think they did a really good job on what Snap does good, and that is the art design, right? Like, really cool stuff you can do. I've seen some fire builds out there with what you can come together, and these effects are great. Like, they did not skimp on the rewards that you get, and I'm like, the Galactic Storm, all of it's cool. And then they brought exactly what I wanted, something to show that, you know, you've mastered a card in its fullest degree, and they did it. They had this cool golden flare. Problem is they did this based on mainly variants, and that is an L. I think it's a complete the problem is with Mastery, okay, I hate to bring it up. People hate that I bring this game up, but it is what it is. Marvel Rivals in Smite, In Dota, there's mastery. And mastery is tied to how much do you play a character, how much do you play that hero, and you get the respect earned. The problem with this is it's a respect earned, correct? This is the credit card earned, and I'm just not a fan of it. So ultimates and standard variants and whatever, they give more of these points than anything else. So playing with Storm doesn't actually do you much good. It's going to be getting her variants, and that to me is missing the point of mastery. And I think there was a response like, well, we wanted it, or we want to reward players in a number of different ways, and this is how we... Come on. If you do it with playtime, it's free for everybody. And at this point in the game's life, we've got to be doing this kind of stuff, and it's such a win. And I just hate for another cool thing to come out. Like, honestly, I think this is awesome. Mastery is very cool. But for it to come with a con, and that is it's variant based. I, for one, if you guys want to know, I bought probably every variant in the game first year and a half. I've not bought a variant probably since. Because why? You know, like, there's art that I love to collect. I do enjoy that. I already have a variant for every card that I have, pretty much. And this doesn't, like, entice me to get more variants. I think that's the point of it. Overall, it's a cool thing to add. I hope they maybe revisit on how to get more of these, even if it's a low threshold. But if you play with the card, you get something in return to start building up at a better pace. Overall, though, I like this design. I think the UI, all of it's very sleek. But they need to make it truly mastery, in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm different than you. Please let me know down in the comments below. And in general, guys, you know, on all my channels, I've slowed down in content for a number of reasons. And I am working on getting back into content all around. So, you know, card reviews, I've had everything up. You know, I've got, heck, I'll throw a couple of these thumbnails that I had on screen ready to make these videos, and it just didn't happen. And just know that... I appreciate you guys so much as my viewers and watching this channel here, and going to continue to try to put out more and more content for you. So anyway, guys, hopefully you enjoy the OTA. Have fun out there, and we'll see you on the next one. Happy snapping.